Do you know something off topic on Dreamcatcher Radio? Something I talk about on my social media quite a lot is friendships and relationships. Um, because a lot of people end up, believe it or not, with mental health issues due to their relationships. Um, and it's kind of funny, but not ha ha funny. Um, how you bear the burden of someone else's burden in life. So I want to talk about that now as part of the open window. And we don't talk about enough about it, to be honest, about the damage toxic friendships cause. And it's not really, I suppose, dramatic portrayals. It's just a slow erosion, bit by bit, bit by bit. Friendships that can drain you, in my experience, confuse you, make you doubt yourself, or I guess make you feel small in rooms where you ought to feel safe. And what I mean by that is that friends leverage off you, get empowerment from you, and then talk about you in the same room that you're in. I've witnessed it. I've witnessed it. And a saying that was told to me um, by someone who I know and trust. And he said to me this. He said, "You cannot grow in soil that keeps poisoning you." And that's very telling, isn't it? Because how many times do you allow it to happen? And I guess you cannot build healthy friendships until until you understand what healthy ones, unhealthy ones look like. So basically, I can't remember the saying. Um, you got to. Um, no, I'm not. Just lost me actually thinking about it. The yeah, you've got to eat a few rotten apples to find the right one. Something like that. I can't remember. It's escaped me. Anyway, it's Saturday morning, and toxic friendships don't always shout, in my opinion. They kind of whisper. I know that's a euphemism, but the subtle disrespect, for example, one sided effort, this is a big one in my mind, is jealousy disguised as jokes, support that only exists when it benefits them. And again, something I talk about quite a bit is basically energy that leaves you exhausted instead of uplifted. And the thing is as well, what I think about a toxic friend doesn't need to be a bad person. Sometimes they're just the wrong person for your peace, but the impact is the same. You shrink, you second guess, you also almost stop recognizing yourself. And when you start losing yourself, that's the moment you must step back. I I am a big gatekeeper of protecting my sanity to the best that I can. It's kind of um, when it comes to friendships, it's very hard to become a friend of me. Very hard. Um, and I'm a good listener, um, but I've got so much empathy for people, and that's a massive conflict in my own personal life. But it's really important that you protect yourself. Really important. And I would say leave. I'm actually brutally direct, to be honest. With people, I remember a magician saying to me once. He said, "Look, I don't know how um I could deal with someone like you." Um, and I said, "You don't have to," and left it at that. And I've not heard from him since. Leaving a toxic friendship, in my opinion, isn't a punishment. It's about protection. When you remove yourself, um, you reclaim that emotional space. You stop absorbing all that negativity. You, I suppose, break the cycle of overgiving. And this is the important bit, I guess. You allow healthier people to enter your life, and then you start rebuilding from that damaged friendship, because it's so damaging. And but it's the best learning curve, I guess, to learn from your mistakes of having that friendship and allowing it to continue. And setting those boundaries is so important. They're doors, I guess, and you decide who gets the key. You don't need confrontation. You don't need a speech. You don't need to justify your piece. Is you can do it in multiple ways, I guess. Me, I'm direct, by way of asking questions, and my position is where I want to get myself out of a situation is either a very heavy direct, and, and unfortunately that happens. Um, but another method I use is reduce access, reply slower, share less. I also, I suppose, where I'm sharing less is that I don't play to dynamic, and we've all had these conversations where you think basically, I wish I could tell the truth, um, but you allow the person to share their energy. I often wonder, right? I often wonder in conversations where you allow people to talk and talk and talk and talk. I mean, I've even put people on mute, right? Carried on working, and they're still talking, and they've not even realised that I've not listened to a word they've said. I know it's not good. I know it's not good, but it's just you know I'm because I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it, and but they want to. I don't want to. I don't want to be taken in by their crap. But the healthy relationships don't happen by accident, in my opinion. They're built through awareness, observations, and I'm known for asking questions. and I love asking questions. And the way I work in my friendships is by asking questions. They may be small, they could be big ones, but it shows someone who they really are. And it's important to me personally to have people in my life which I build a relationship with that I know I can trust. I know subtle questions build that relationship, in my opinion. The and then you can, I suppose, um, build your comfort zone. But going back to the original premise of um, this is that you must in life break as soon as you possibly can in any friendship, because it can be so damaging to you, and you don't know how long it take you to recover. It sounds surreal to say this, but I've witnessed it. I've witnessed it. I've perhaps been through it as well, and wouldn't recognize the damage because I've got so many people that I'm friends with. Um, but you got to realize your value and the damage, because you may take that phone call or be at that breakfast, lunch, whatever it may be, and then import that onto your friends. And you may not even realize it that all this negativity you're passing on to them. And I know sometimes they could say, I guess, that gossip is good for certain people and that sort of thing. But if you're known for it regularly, you know, I often say, I say, I've actually got rid of really good friends. The just purely on gossip, where they tell me stuff all the time. I just think, you're talking like crap about people that I know, right? The I wonder what they're saying about me. so so it's the absorption of basically being honest. Um, I mean, I'm known for being too direct, but I can't help it because I need to. In my life, I must be honest, and and I don't mind telling people how I feel, um, which is not a good trait to some people. Um, and perhaps I've lost some relationships because of it. But the fact is, I am who I am, and I benefit the many in who I am, and I will literally simply move on, um, unless I can help them understand and that sort of stuff. The but yeah, friendships are tough, aren't they? Friendships are tough, and but they're good to have because I love meeting new people. I actually love it. I embrace it. I love networking and all that sort of stuff. And so it's not all negative, but the main point of this is I'm saying cut ties as quick as possible with anybody that's constantly draining you.